morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at the return of Escape Rope. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Escape Rope. Oh, it's coming back. And we looked just a couple of days ago about Experience Share. And the fact that how that is coming back. Well, that was in Sun and Moon 1. This was in Sun and Moon 3. Burning Shadow. I think that was Sun and Moon 3. So, it's kind of been gone for about the same amount of time as Experience Share. It's been, by the time it comes out, kind of 3.5 years. So, last time we saw a print of Escape Rope was in Burning Shadows in August 2017. And we're going to be getting this in March 2021. So, that's 3.5 years. And, here's the best way I can put this. The lovely Antoine Boulet didn't provide our translation. We don't need a translation. It's clearly Escape Rope. But the lovely Antoine Boulet has pointed out to us that there is a shop which is currently going ahead and buying, not selling, buying Escape Rope, the secret rare, the gold version from Burning Shadows, or their equivalent thereof, for 25,000 yen. 25,000 yen. That is a huge amount of money, ladies and gentlemen. It is more at the moment than Shiny Charizard is actually being bought for. 25,000 yen comes in at $240 or about £180 with a little bit of rounding. €200 if you're interested in that currency. So my point is, this is like a really expensive card. Why did this suddenly jump in price? Why are card shops all of a sudden desperate to get their hands on this? Well, come on. It's because people expect it to be good. Escape Rope is coming back into the format, which means that people are going to want to play Escape Rope again, which means that the best version of it, we've only ever had one gold version of Escape Rope, the best version of it is going to be the most sought after one. And that means that this is going to be sought after. So card shops in Japan are basically going, hey, sell us your gold Escape Ropes. We'll pay 25,000 yen. But they ain't selling it for 25,000 yen. They'll be selling it for a fair bunch more. So now that I've hopefully convinced you that, in fact, this is something that we need to get a little bit excited about, what does it do? Well, it's Escape Rope. You switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench, and your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench. That's what it does. And I tell you what, we're in a format right now where we want more switching. And this is going to be awesome. You see, at the moment, if we look at switching options, we've got, the old favourite switch. And then we've got retreating with stuff like Air Balloon. And then we've got Scoop Up Net. Now, Scoop Up Net only works for non-GX, non-V Pokemon. Doesn't work for GXs and Vs. And Scoop Up Net doesn't really switch. You pick up and then you put back down, which can be kind of awkward. So if you're using, something like Raichu and Alolan Raichu, if it became active this turn, you do 160 damage plus paralysis, or one that I like a fair bit more, the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, that if you became active this turn does 150 damage for a single energy, which is a bit dumb good. You need to be switching in and out of the active regularly. And Scoop Up Net can help, but it's not particularly ideal. You can retreat, and to be fair, we do have Tower of Water, which will give free retreat to that Urshifu. It reduces the retreat cost of any Rapid Strike Pokemon by 2, but as it stands at the moment, we see no Rapid Strike Pokemon with a retreat of more than 2. So, you can retreat for free into a single prize Pokemon and then Scoop Up Net and all of that, but come on, that's getting a little bit awkward at this stage. What we really needed was another 4 switches. Hey, Escape Rope. And that is one thing Escape Rope will work as, right? It will work as another 4 switches. The other combo that I really enjoy here is with, for instance, Spikemuth. Spikemuth is a stadium card that came around in Vivid Voltage. No, Darkness Ablaze. It was Darkness Ablaze. Well, yeah, it was Darkness Ablaze. It was Darkness Ablaze. I'm calling it Darkness Ablaze. The point is, Spikemuth says that when you go to the bench, whether you switch or retreat, you get 2 damage counters on you. And on the one hand, Boo, Hiss, etc. And on the other hand, there are Pokemon out there like Spiritomb, for instance, that does 10 damage base, plus 30 more for each damage counter on it. Or Phanpy, that just does 30 damage for each damage counter on it, but it is important to note that Phanpy has an extra 10 HP, so although it does 10 less per damage on there, it actually has a higher damage gap because of the higher HP. And partly, playing more Escape Rope gives you access to more switching cards, making it more likely that you'll hit the switch and therefore the damage. And secondly, this just lets you put more damage on because you are doing all of that switching around. So whether you're trying to get in and out the active to do damage, or whether you're trying to flip in and out the active to combo with Spikemuth, this is a great, great thing. But it's also just an alternative to Switch. For a long time, a bunch of people, myself included, have been playing Phione. Now, Fione's great at stopping you decking out, because when you use its ability, you put it on the bottom of your deck, so you won't deck out at the beginning of your next turn, assuming your opponent can't mill you. But also, it makes your opponent switch their active. And back in the day, I and a lot of people like myself played Regirock from Legends Awakened, which made your opponent switch their active. Because you see, sometimes just making your opponent switch their active is huge. And incidentally, if you don't want to switch your active, all you need to do is make sure you've got a free retreater on the bench, someone with Air Balloon, someone that can use Tower of Water when that's out, etc. And then you can just play Escape Rope and just retreat into the one you wanted anyway. And then all of a sudden, you're making your opponent switch. Maybe their active is the only Pokemon you can't KO. Make them switch so you can get a KO. Maybe they've left here's one of the biggest uses for it is Lily's Pokédoll. Your opponent's left a Lily's Pokédoll in the active. That doesn't give up a prize when KO'd. Play this, your opponent has to put up something that does give up a prize, maybe multiple. And yeah, sure, if your opponent's got 2 Lily's Pokédoll out, they can just swap one for the other and it won't matter. But they're not always going to have to, and even if they do, time you've KO'd a couple, it's going to get so much more difficult. I like this. This has a lot of uses. I mean, there are going to be games where your opponent has 2 Pokemon out, their attacker, and like a Crobat V on the bench. So this forces Crobat into the active so that you can go and take a KO. And you will often see players playing a mixture of Switch and Escape Rope, because it's different things for different situations, although they're item cards, so you don't really recover them and they're hard to search, so it's not always that easy to pick between them. You can be playing a 2-2 split in your deck, but a lot of the time you'll be forced to essentially use the one that's in front of you right now. But the fact of the matter is, when Escape Rope was around beforehand, it saw a huge amount of play, and also, for those of you that may have forgotten, it used to be called Warp Point. A Warp Point is the exact same card. Your opponent switches one of his or her defending Pokemon with one of his or her bench Pokemon. You switch one of your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Worded like that because we did used to have the game open for 2v2. We never really used it, but it was technically there. So Warp Point was literally just reprinted as Escape Rope. When Escape Rope came around in Plasma Storm, we all went, oh, it's Warp Point, but they've changed the name. Because make no mistake about it, it's Warp Point, but they've changed the name. And it saw a huge amount of play when it was Warp Point. So, if it saw a huge amount of play when it was Warp Point, and it saw a huge amount of play when it was Escape Rope, and I have just named multiple different ways in which this could be a really good card that is likely to see a whole bunch of play, I see no reason why we wouldn't think that this would see a huge amount of play. And frankly, if you don't think it's going to see a huge amount of play, please explain to me why Japanese card shops have started going, we will pay more for this than we will pay for a shiny Charizard V Max. This is a huge card coming back. This is going to see a huge amount of play. And it's weird doing an analysis of a reprint card, but the fact that it's been out of the format for a little while, the fact that it hasn't been printed for 3.5 years, yes, I know it was legal for longer than that, means that actually This coming back is a big deal. Sometimes cards aren't gone for long, but coming back makes all the difference, and believe me, this is going to make a difference. As far as I'm concerned, it's a 5 WOSI card. I expect this to see a lot of play in a lot of different decks, and my definition of a 5 WOSI card is either that, or even though it's going to play in a smaller amount of decks, it is going to change the game. This is big, ladies and gentlemen. This is pretty gosh darn big. Or is it? I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.